Cozumel, a jewel nestled in Caribbean waters. Cozumel is Mexico's largest inhabited island, on the eastern end of the nation, off the Yucatan Peninsula in the state of Quintana Roo. Weather is warm and humid, with plenty of rain, especially in the summer. However, and in spite of that rain, Cozumel has no surface rivers. But much as a whole peninsula, the island holds underground water deposits that are commonly known as cenotes. The name Cozumel refers to the Mayan word Cuzamil, or the place of swallows. Nearly 80% of the island remains uninhabited. The east side is breathtaking and practically untouched. In the 1950s, local businessmen supported the development of tourism as a way to showcase Cozumel's natural beauties to the rest of the world. It was also then that French explorer Jacques-Yves Cousteau visited the island's reefs and declared the site one of the world's most beautiful and spectacular scuba diving sites. Ever since, Cozumel has remained the diving paradise of America, the continent, with crystal clear waters and a rich spectrum of colors, from turquoise blue to aqua green. But there are many other attractions to consider in addition to the reefs, including the fascinating and often perplexing sites of Maya settlements. San Gervasio is the largest, holding the temple of Ixchel, the Mayan goddess of fertility. It is said that every woman in the Mayan Empire had to come to her at least once in a lifetime to receive abundant descendants and give uncomplicated childbirth. The Island Museum offers a full glimpse of the past and present of Cozumel and its natural resources. Chancanab Lagoon is also the heart of Chancanab Park, meaning small sea in Maya dialect. Chancanab is a geological creation of limestone erosion from the rain and sea. Its life comes from the ocean, as it is connected by way of a submarine channel giving shape to a perfect habitat for tarpons, which can live in either salt or fresh water. Within the cavern, they share quarters with schools of silversides, including anchovies, sardines, and herrings, on which they feed. Chancanab is among the most remarkable ecosystems in the world. Cozumel holds approximately 40% of the total reported flora in the entire state of Quintana Roo, classified into 4 plant life communities. The coast dune, located on the shoreway along the high tide marker. The mangrove, nestled in the transitional area separating sea and land. Tides bring in nutrients for the reefs. And then there's the Taxistal, a low-diversity plant life community of palm trees, including sheep and taxiste. And last, the medium-height jungle that covers most of the island with trees 33 feet tall. Beaches, as happens along the rest of the Mexican Caribbean, owe their texture and color to the erosion of coral skeletons, snails, algae, and other animals that have developed on the reefs. Waves and currents carry the skeletons ashore, powdering the sand that forms the beaches. Now, the beaches on the east coast of Cozumel are practically virgin, year after year they become a spectacle of life and survival. Here, young, vulnerable sea turtles hatch from their nests on their way to a new life. On the southern tip of the island is Punta Sur Park, the offspring of 4 fascinating lagoons: Columbia, Chunchacab, Chiquero, and Ixtacun. A site of true organic variety, it hosts a remarkable world of bird life. Crocodiles 5 to 9 feet long, and fish, all in the perfect harmony and freedom of this singular ecosystem. These marvelous creations of man and nature in Cozumel remain the guardians of one of the most biodiverse ecosystems on Earth: coral reefs. Coral reefs occur in the world's oceans, sandwiched in between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. An estimated 85% of all the reefs in the world are to be found within the Indo-Pacific region, and the remaining 15% in the tropical Atlantic template. In the Caribbean Sea, the reefs of Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras all together span some 600 miles to form the second most important reef system in the world. Cozumel Island is part of that system. Most of the barrier reef is subscribed to the Cozumel Marine National Park. The composition of each coral species and how it grows is determined by several factors: depth, wave action, light, geological development, and the amount of fresh water and sediment coming from the main island. The structures we know today as reefs are built mostly from the skeletal remains of several species of hard coral, which have grown for centuries, building countless quarters for resident organisms. Soft corals do not ultimately evolve into reefs, but they do play a major role in the reef ecosystem by providing shelter and food for marine life. To this day, the longevity of coral is unknown in the absence of long-term research. However, some evidence suggests that many last hundreds of years.
Each coral is formed by a colony of thousands of individual organisms called polyps. These are minute animals whose structure is similar to a sea anemone.
They reside only in the outer layer of the reef, growing up and sideways along the skeleton, which makes them even more delicate. They enjoy several feeding methods, a crucial benefit, considering the vast amounts of energy they need to grow and reproduce adequately. During the day, as most fish actively seek food and shelter in the coral structure, polyps retract inside their exoskeleton for protection from their natural predators. When retracted, they feed upon zooxanthellae, algae that live within the coral, and give it its color. Come nighttime, when most fish grow less active, other marine species come to life. While the octopus remains in hiding during the day, nighttime becomes the call for hunting. Feeling less vulnerable, sea urchin walk along the reef structures in search of small invertebrates. Lobsters exit their hideouts to feed, sheltered in the darkness of night, cautiously roaming the bottom of the reef. Crabs agilely move atop the coral substrate to feast on algae and invertebrates along the way. And much like the other animals, coral polyps cling to the darkness of night and the calm of the reef to spread out from their exoskeleton. And as the carnivores they are, extend their tentacles to catch plankton drifting along the reefs. Reefs have to be appreciated as dynamic, balanced systems of remarkable complexity and infinite variety. They host a myriad of coral species for observation, such as the case of brain coral in its multiple manifests, or staghorn coral that develops in shallow waters, finger coral, which extends like a carpet spread over the reef surface in the Tunich Wall. Soft corals waltzing in stride with a flow of currents. Gorgonians, which at times will cover entire sections of the reef, and pillar coral of majestic designs in small places. In addition to coral, the reef substratum houses different species of anemones. Oftentimes accompanied by a small tenant, like this shrimp anemone, whose translucid state masks its presence entwined in the anemone's friendly tentacles, where it finds food and shelter. Several different varieties of algae and seagrass are on the menu of diverse animals. Sponges are animals that attach to the reef substratum, providing shelter for fish and a variety of invertebrates. Sponges are the food staple of certain species of fish and sea turtles, like the hawksbill turtle. Which leaves its notorious chomping marks after a feast. The reefs of Cozumel harbor sponges of several colors and shapes. Every sponge, at a specific time of the year, seeks sexual reproduction in a chain reaction that frees sperm and eggs into the surrounding waters. Fertilization takes place in the water or within the female sponge. Once fertilized, larvae flow with the current onto another accommodating site on the reef to which to affix and begin to grow. As eggs, sperm, and larvae have dispersed in currents year after year, sponges have attained a permanence in marine environments. and moreover, they bring life, food, and reproduction to several worm species.